takes you to the video format of this podcast interview. Now, let's get on with our special guest. Let's get right into it. Listen, a lot of times what gives me the accreditation, if you will, and the representation. Hello, I'm the host of Wild Podcast. My name is Darshawn, man. And it's going down like this.
Big Red helps me around the house. My dream car happens to be a 13 Tundra. What's yours?
Anything else you got to say? Any words of maybe encouragement or words of hope? Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Darshawn McAway. You're tuned in to wildpodcast.me. That's WOWPODCAST.me. And today we have a special guest. We have Jeffrey A. Carver. Jeffrey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks. It's great to be here.
Man, it's been over 3 years since I last heard from you?
The time, it just flies by, doesn't it?
It does. You were in season 7, episode 12. And I say, you know what? I bet you he probably doesn't even remember he was on the show, but here you are.
I don't remember what we said.
No, we had a good conversation. It was a great conversation. Today, we're going to talk about the Chaos Chronicles. How many books are in the Chaos Chronicles?
6 now, 1 more to come.
Okay.
Which I've been working on. Got
you. So which book do you want to talk about first?
Oh, Lord. I think of it as a whole story. So it starts with Neptune Crossing. So if you're interested in getting started at the beginning, that's the one to look at.
Okay.
The more recent books, it's a 2-parter called The Reefs of Time and Crucible of Time, which are books 5 and 6. And you actually can jump in there. You can jump in anywhere you want. But if you really want the full experience, then I'd start at the beginning.
Okay. So Neptune Crossing. Let's talk about that one a little bit. Give me a synopsis about Neptune Crossing.
Well, it's about a survey pilot on the moon of Neptune, Triton, who has an encounter with an alien, non-corporeal alien intelligence, who wants him to do something crazy. And he tells him that that Earth is at stake. And Bandicott has to do a lot of soul searching to decide whether to believe this crazy thing and then whether to do it, because he's essentially throwing away life as he knows it to do something, well, for lack of another word, noble, I guess. The story is really about sacrifice. It's a hard science fiction story in a way, and it's a character story in a way. And it's got a lot of humor and has some interesting aliens in it.
Got you. Since the last time I spoke with you, have you had the opportunity to turn any of these books into a featured film or a short film?
Oh, I wish. No, I haven't.
Okay.
That wish continues.
Right.
I think it'll make a great miniseries, to be honest. If anybody's listening who produces miniseries, I think this would make a great miniseries.
Absolutely. I think so too. I would love to see a lot of your books turn into movies, if you will. I was breezing through your website, and I'm just amazed with the amount of books that you've come out with throughout the years. What's keeping you going to write these books? What's the inspiration behind it?
Well, sometimes it's what got me started in science fiction. The very beginning as a kid, which is a love of the sense of wonder and looking up at the stars and wanting to go there. And I can't go there personally, but I can go there in my stories. Sometimes I have this story that really wants to get out, and no matter how hard it is, and for me, it's writing is really difficult and time consuming, but I really want this story to get out. And so I just have to keep at it and at it and at it. And also my readers have been waiting for the next volume for quite a while now. So I feel I owe a debt to them for sticking with me for so long.
Right. So tell me this, what is it that's so fascinating about space? What makes you want to go up there so badly?
Oh, wow. That's kind of existential, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about possibilities. It's about amazing places you might see and amazing beings you might interact with, and it doesn't mean that I don't love the planet I live on or the people I live with. It just it's so much larger a canvas than my everyday life here.
Mhm. Now, if you had the opportunity to go tomorrow, which planet would you go to?
Boy, boy. Real planet or science fictional planet?
Let's do both. Let's do both.
I'd love to visit uh, Enceladus or Europa, probably Enceladus, moon of Saturn, that has subterranean oceans and is considered to be one of the most likely places in the solar system to have life. Um, if we could go to the fictional solar system, I'd love to go to Venus as it existed in the minds of writers when I was a young reader, full
Right.
of oceans and jungles and all sorts of wondrous things.
You know, I'm
Truthfully, I'd love to
fascinated.
visit my own world of Shipworld that I'm writing in right now.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that one. Ship
Well,
World.
Shipworld is a humongous structure at the edge of the galaxy, created millions of years ago by we're not really sure whom, and there are descendants of the creators of Shipworld. Um, it sends representatives out into the galaxies, basically looking for worlds in peril and for ways to save, if not the worlds themselves, at least some representatives of the populations. It's a kind of um, arc, not story arc, but arc as in like Noah's Ark, to preserve beings, to preserve civilizations, to preserve life in advanced form that's threatened. And it's a pretty mysterious place, even for people who have been there for quite a while. And my characters have been there for maybe a year or so, and it's really mysterious to them. They're still trying to figure it out. And that's the crux of the final book that I'm working on, is trying to untangle all the webs that keep Shipworld running.
You know, as I breeze through your website, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You have so many titles that I'm so interested in. Let me see if I can jog your memory. The
Okay.
Rapture Effect. Can you tell me
Rapture
what the
of
Rapture Effect?
That is a standalone novel about an interstellar war that basically nobody knows is happening. Nobody on Earth knows. And it's been being conducted by an AI. And when I use AI in my stories, I'm not talking about this stuff that we call AI now. I mean, really
Yeah.
intelligent, sentient AI.
Okay.
And it's about an effort by a small group of artists to try to find a solution to this war and make it stop. I wrote that so long ago; it's hard for me to remember the actual storyline, but that's the
Yeah.
gist of it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with I guess the vanishing of people, if you will, just kind of basing it back on maybe some parts of the Bible when it talks about the rapture, taking place. So just
Ah,
kind of fascinated with that.
yeah, yeah. This actually wasn't a reference to the biblical rapture, but it was a reference to a sort of interface with the AI called a rapture field that people could go into, and it's sort of like a virtual reality, but much it goes way beyond that, where you're actually interacting directly with the AI.
Gotcha. So it's been over 3 years since the last time I spoke to you.
Mhm.
Aside from the books, what have you been up to?
Oh my God, life, life. The writing has been going really slowly, but well, I probably wasn't wearing this oxygen hose when you last talked to me. So I've had some health issues, and I'm planning downsizing our house and things. So really, dealing with family life and my own life has taken up a whole lot of my time in the intervening
Right.
years, and wrestling with this book. And this book it's in my head, jangling
Yeah.
around, and it does want to get out, but it hasn't made it out yet.
So, what do you think that you have to do in order for you to find that inspiration to finish it?
I have I have to. Okay, we're getting into sort of deep territory here because this is partly about writer's block and it's about the creative process. And I'm not sure I can give you a soundbite answer to that, but there are clearly um, things that I need to sort out in my own subconscious, I guess,
Mhm.
that may be standing in the way of my seeing the path of this story. Um, I have, I talked to a therapist about what might be causing some of these blockages and have experimented with ketamine assisted therapy, which is a
Okay.
relatively new thing in the psychotherapy field. But um, ketamine is it's kind of like this is a legal procedure, by the way. It's a prescribed thing that you take, and it's kind of like a very low level psychedelic trip
Gotcha.
that just brings a lot of images forward and kind of helps you sail. I was going to say navigate through your subconscious, but I've discovered you can't navigate. You can just float and sail and go where the
Yeah.
winds take you during the
Right.
hour or so that you're doing this. So
You
that's
know,
been a really interesting experience.
it's ironic that you bring that up because yesterday I was looking up, I think I'm saying it correctly, the floating pods where you float in the water
Oh
that
yeah.
have salt in there. Um, I've done it one time before, and it really helped me open up some different thoughts that I had, uh, and brought a lot of things back to my memory as well. And
Well, it's
I
funny
also
you
heard about,
mentioned that because I've got a brochure for one of those places sitting on my
yeah,
dresser, and it's on my list of things
yeah.
to do.
I'm going to sign up again and give it a shot. And I also thought about looking into the whole DMT, ordeal, just to kind of find out, what's going on, stuff like that,
Hmm.
you know. So. I'm kind of on the same page with you. I got some books that I'm trying to release. Well, I'm trying to get them out there, and I'm having a little bit of a writer's block at times too. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the
Well,
path of least resistance.
writer's block is a well, it's a funny thing. If you do a search on how to cure writer's block, you'll find everything from, well, writer's block is caused by your interior editor getting in the way and stopping you from being free,
Right.
to, well, writer's block is just your excuse for not writing, to, oh, you're just a lazy SOB and why don't you quit complaining and write? But in fact, and some of those may be true in some cases, but in fact, um, it can be a very real and difficult thing to struggle with. And because writing can be such an intuitive and subconscious process, these stories don't just sort of waltz across the video screen of your mind to be written down. Well, I get maybe for some people they do. For me, they don't. For me, I have to wrestle and tease and tweak out the story. And it's a delicate process that sometimes works better than others.
Right.
So,
I would like to say this to you. I typically don't say this to people, but you sound like you have a fantastic narration voice. Do you have your own podcast?
I don't. I thought about it, and what I need, if I had an organizer, thank you for that, by the way. If I had an assistant who ran the administrative side of it, that might be something I'd do. But I've
Yeah.
I've tried to just focus on getting the book going. But I love
Sure.
appearing on other people's podcasts like yours and talking to other people.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you on, I guess, on social media if you have anything.
Okay, well, you're looking at my website right now, and that's the primary place to find me. It's at starrigger.net. You see it scrolling at the bottom. I'm also on, there's a link to my Facebook page there. I don't do a lot of other social media because for me, that's kind of a time sink that I don't really feel free to spend a lot of time on.
Right.
You know, my I have a blog and it gets posted at Facebook. So if you want to read my blog, you can friend me at Facebook or whatever, or just read it there. And I respond to comments there. But I don't do a lot of social media beyond that.
Okay.
Life is full, and social media can be like this cloud of buzzing mosquitoes that you just want to swat away.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking to Jeffrey A. Carver. He's the recipient of the Frank Hubert Lifetime Achievement Award for writing science fiction. Jeffrey, thank you so much for coming by. I really do appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Darshan. It's been a pleasure.
You have a good one.